The rise and fall of Yahoo. They could have bought Google twice. In the summer of 2002, Yahoo's CEO sat across the table from two Stanford dropouts and tried to buy their company for $3 billion. They said no. They wanted $5. Yahoo walked away. That deal would have been the second time, not the first. The directory. In January 1994, two Stanford grad students named Jerry Yang and David Philo were supposed to be writing a dissertation on chip design software. Instead, they were building a list of their favorite websites, sorted, categorized, hand-curated. Because in 1994, the internet was small enough that two guys in a trailer office could personally vouch for what was good on it. They called it Jerry and David's Guide to the World Wide Web. By the fall, it had a better name, a backronym nobody fully agrees on the meaning of, and 50,000 hits a day. By 1996, it was a public company. By 2000, at the absolute peak of the dot-com bubble, Yahoo was worth $125 billion, bigger than most of the S&P 500 today, adjusted or not. Yahoo wasn't a search engine. It was a directory. The whole pitch was that humans had already sorted the internet for you, so you didn't need to search it. That distinction is about to matter more than anyone at Yahoo realized. The first no. In 1998, two other Stanford students built something different. Not a directory. An algorithm that ranked pages by how many other pages linked to them. They called it PageRank. They called the company Google. They were broke graduate students. They didn't want to run a company. They wanted to finish their PhDs. So they did what a lot of broke graduate students with a good idea do. They tried to sell it. The number they asked Yahoo for was $1 million. Yahoo said no. It wasn't an irrational no at the time. Yahoo's entire business model depended on people staying on Yahoo, clicking through its portal, its news, its mail, its directory. Google's design philosophy was the opposite. Get you the answer and get you off the page as fast as possible. From inside 1998, that looked like a feature nobody would pay for. Yahoo wasn't even the only one who said no. In 1998, nobody could see the trillion-dollar company hiding inside that search box. That part, almost, is forgivable. What happened 4 years later is the part that isn't. The second no. By 2002, Google wasn't a dorm room project anymore. It was processing hundreds of millions of searches and quietly becoming the default way people found things online. Yahoo's CEO by then was Terry Semel, a former Warner Brothers executive. Semel looked at Google and did the math. If this kept growing, it wouldn't just compete with Yahoo's search, it would compete for the advertising dollars that paid for everything else Yahoo did. So Yahoo went back. Not to sell this time, to buy. Negotiations ran for months. This wasn't a casual conversation. This was Yahoo trying to make the acquisition it should have made in 1998. Yahoo's final offer? $3 billion. Google's asking price? $5 billion. $2 billion. That was the gap. Semel balked. The talks collapsed, and Google stayed independent. 1 year later, they went public at a valuation that made Yahoo's unwillingness to bridge that gap look like one of the most expensive decisions in corporate history. Yahoo didn't ignore Google in 2002. They saw it clearly enough to spend months trying to buy it. They just couldn't convince themselves the last $2 billion was worth it. That's not a story about Yahoo failing to see the future. It's a story about seeing it, pricing it, and still getting the number wrong by orders of magnitude. What Yahoo did instead, Yahoo didn't sit still after 2002. They spent roughly $2 billion buying search technology companies, Inktomi, Overture, trying to build their own answer to Google internally instead of owning Google itself. And in 2005, Yahoo made one of the best investments in the history of American business. 40% of a Chinese e-commerce company most of the West had never heard of called Alibaba. That stake alone would eventually be worth more than the rest of Yahoo combined. By 2007, Google's revenue had lapped Yahoo's. The board brought back co-founder Jerry Yang as CEO, hoping the guy who once said no to buying Google for $1 million could now save the company from the thing he'd said no to, the mercy offer. In February 2008, Microsoft made Yahoo an offer that, with hindsight, looks less like a hostile takeover and more like a rescue boat, $44.6 billion. Yahoo's board said it substantially undervalued the company. Microsoft came back with $47 billion. Yahoo wanted more. Microsoft walked away in May 2008. Months later, the financial crisis hit, and Yahoo's actual market value spent the next several years falling well below the number it had just turned down. At 3 separate points, 1998, 2002, and 2008, the company was offered a number, decided it deserved a better one, and ended up with nothing close to either. The long bleed. Marissa Mayer arrived as CEO in 2012, straight from Google, and tried an acquisition spree of her own. The headline deal was Tumblr, bought in 2013 for $1.1 billion. That same year, Netflix was reportedly available for something in the neighborhood of $4 billion. Yahoo didn't pursue it. Tumblr was written down to a fraction of its purchase price within 3 years. Netflix is worth well over $100 billion today. Then, in 2016, Yahoo disclosed something it had been sitting on: data breaches that had compromised 3 billion accounts, the largest breach in internet history. It cost Yahoo $350 million off the final price of the Verizon merger. What's left? In 2017, Verizon closed its purchase of Yahoo's core business for $4.48 billion, less than 10% of what Microsoft had offered 9 years earlier. The brand still exists. Yahoo Mail still exists. But the company that could have owned Google twice now exists as a mid-tier media property, doing a fraction of the business of the company it twice declined to buy. Here's the part most retellings skip. Every one of these decisions was defensible in the room, on the day, with the information available. $1 million for an unproven algorithm in 1998 was a real bet. A $2 billion gap in 2002 was real money. $44 billion in 2008 looked, to a board that had just watched its stock trade twice that high, like an insult. Yahoo's failure wasn't one bad call. It was a company that kept making the reasonable decision at the exact moments reasonable wasn't going to be enough. That's the part worth sitting with longer than the punchline.